What do you think is more powerful, caffeine or kindness? Hey, friends, David with Addicted to Betterment here. And I am a full on, fully confessed, self proclaimed caffeine junkie. I'm going to tell you, I can't get enough of it. I wake up every morning. The very first thing I take in after a glass of water is caffeine. And I usually take in several more throughout the day. I just cannot stand to be living life not with full energy and full force. I just don't know how to operate that way. So I don't like being sluggish and not feeling fire and energy. And so, yeah, I take in a lot of caffeine. This morning, I had an experience that made me look at it a little different. So early morning, I'd already had my initial jolt of caffeine, and I'm going about my day, and I pull into a Starbucks to get my chocolate cream cold brew with an extra espresso. And as I walk in the door, the very first thing, some young lady turns around and she's like, "Welcome in." Took me by surprise. I was like, "Thank you. I'm excited to be here." Walk up to the counter. Young lady takes my order. I'm sure you're like me. Usually, while I'm waiting on my order, I'm taking care of stuff. But I left my phone in the car, and I walk to the end of the counter and stand and wait for my chocolate cream cold brew. Man, I want to pause and say you don't have to be living under a rock right now to feel tension and friction and thickness in the air. It's around every corner. It feels like there's a blow up or a tense moment around the next corner after the next meeting or when I pull up my Facebook for the next time. It's heavy. So I'm standing there, I'm waiting on my chocolate cream cold brew, and I begin to notice that there was 8 or 9 people just hustling, trying to take care of junkies like me, get us our caffeine fix, and man, they're busting it, man. They're killing it, whipping up caffeine concoctions left and right. And every mobile order, every order that was already placed, were sitting it on the counter right in front of me. And I begin to notice on every single cup was a note, a word of affirmation, a word of encouragement, a positive message on every single cup. I mean, there was "You're beautiful," "Smile," "Have a great day," "You rock," "You're the best," "Make this the best day," just all kinds of words of encouragement. And I was struck by that. Finally, me being me, I grabbed someone's attention and said, "Excuse me, who is writing these messages on these cups?" And the lady replied and she said, "All of us." Okay. Wow. She said, "Yeah, all of us have decided we're going to write a positive message on every single cup that goes out the door, whether it's to go or for here or whatever." And so she goes about her business. They were very busy, and I stood there and thought about that as I got my chocolate cream cold brew. Said goodbye. I actually paused and said, "This place rocks." I was thinking, man, how great that was to get that positive word of encouragement. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what kind of day you're having. It changes the atmosphere when you read that, "Hey, you're beautiful. Smile." Mine did not say I was beautiful, by the way, but how impressive that was. And I begin to think, dang, we overcomplicate it. What I was struck by was 2 things. One, all 8 or 9 of those people could not possibly have been having a great day. All 8 or 9 of them could not have possibly had everything going their way. They probably didn't even like some of the people they work with. Maybe they didn't like their boss. I don't know. I'll tell you what, I kind of doubt it because the vibe in there was awesome. But there's no way that everything was going great in their life, and they still chose to participate in showing kindness to every person who got a to-go cup from that Starbucks. That's number one. Number two, they didn't know anything about me. They didn't know anything about all the people that placed their to-go order and came in and picked it up. They didn't know if I'm an asshole. They didn't know if I'm kind. They didn't know what I do for a living. They don't know if I'm friendly, if I vote left or right, what religion I am, if I like sports or don't like sports or anything about me. But yet they chose to say a word of kindness to brighten my day. It really is that simple. It's actually that simple. We overcomplicate it. And the third thing that actually struck me is I've learned myself that when I show up and choose to be proactive and show kindness, whether I feel like it, whether I don't, whether I like the person or whether I don't, but when I choose to show kindness and encouragement and words of affirmation, you know who really benefits from that? Me. I'm the one that usually benefits the most when I show kindness. Wow. I tell you what, I will still be a caffeine junkie always, but I choose to be a kindness junkie because as much fire and fuel as that chocolate cream cold brew gave me, I can promise you the words of encouragement and the atmosphere and the kindness at the Starbucks at Emerson Avenue and Main Street in Greenwood. That's the kind of fuel and fire I want. I mean, that gave me way more fire about my day than that chocolate cream cold brew did. And I'm wondering, what if all of us chose to be kindness junkies? Friends, my invitation to you today is not to be like me and take in more caffeine. My invitation is, let's take in more kindness. What if we all became kindness junkies and chose to become kindness junkies for ourselves? Because you know what? I'm going to choose for me to show up and give kindness to every single person, whether I like them, don't like them, like how they vote, don't like how they vote, like what they post on social media or don't. I like how they work with me or I don't. It doesn't matter. Choose kindness. Friends, the ripple effect of all of us becoming kindness junkies will change our world. I'm all in. Are you? Let's go.